Channel 3 Eyewitness News Today in HD.
Well, today Americans across the United States will celebrate the life of civil rights activist Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Many right here in Chattanooga will take part in a day of service. It's 5 o'clock. Good morning, Tennessee Valley. You're watching Channel 3 Eyewitness News Today. I'm Michelle Herron in for Latrice Curry.
And I'm John Martin. Today is Monday, January 16th, 2017. Yeah, we're going to check in with David Carnes for a look at the forecast in a minute. But first, again, it is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and we're going to talk to you about some of those activities that are going on in and around the Tennessee Valley coming up, and just a little bit to remember the late civil rights activist. So good morning to those of you who are up. A lot of people off today, and that's great, but in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., it's a day of service to get out there.
The events here in Chattanooga, it's amazing seeing so many people come out. I just think it's wonderful.
Yeah, they're going to have good weather for it. We're going to get just ridiculously warm. Chance of rain very slight. I don't think we'll see anything significant.
Can we just talk about yesterday real quick?
Absolutely.
That was the most ridiculous day that's ever occurred in January.
It was a record breaker.
Shorts, T-shirts, there are thousands of people at Coolidge Park. Everybody was out walking their dog. It was fantastic.
And thank you for putting you in shorts in my head
for
the next 150 years.
Yeah, sorry about that. I forgot. It was blinding.
Hey, today's going to be another good one, though. Okay. Seriously, just as nice as yesterday, probably just as warm. We were in the 70s yesterday. We'll be in the 70s again today. A little bit of patchy fog this morning, dense up around Murphy, some scattered areas of fog up on the plateau. 50 in Chattanooga, 45 Dalton, and 51 in Altamont. And we'll get there, getting up to 71 by 3 p.m. I'm calling for a high of 72. Again, the record high is 73. We'll be in the 60s through the evening. Mostly cloudy skies persist, but the rain chance only 20%. Rain chance is going up, though, as the temperature at least a little bit recedes down into the 60s through the week. We'll have details in your forecast coming up in a moment, guys.
All right, David, thank you as always. Well, breaking overnight in Walker County, an arrest has been made in connection with the homicide.
Now, the death was reported to the sheriff's office just before 7:30 last night. The crime scene is on Wheeler Road in Lafayette, and deputies were on scene throughout the evening. Now, the suspect has been arrested and is currently in the Walker County Jail. No names regarding this situation has been released, but we're tracking the story very closely, and you can stay with Channel 3 as this story develops.
Well, crews are still working to repair the roadway after a water main break on Signal Mountain Road.
The leak has since been fixed, but some lanes of traffic remain closed. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Tim Pham joins us now live with the latest. Good morning, Tim.
Well, good morning to you. The road closures on Signal Mountain, as you mentioned, are still ongoing. Some businesses were forced to close because of the water main break. The water has since been restored to those businesses, and businesses have reopened, but you can still see that there are still lane closures on Signal Mountain Road, down to just one lane in front of Walmart. Leak inspectors with Tennessee American Water discovered the 12-inch break around noon on Friday. Officials warned the affected businesses about water loss before repair started, leaving plenty of time for preparation. Some area restaurants had to close during the repair because of potential sanitary issues. Crews used a jackhammer to break the pavement, limiting traffic to just one lane. Officials say the water main break is repaired, but they are waiting for paving contractors to finish repairing the road. And in Bradley County, some residents are also waking up to some water issues. That's because of a water main break on Michigan Avenue. Cleveland Utility tells us that this is mainly affecting residents in the Royal Oaks subdivision. And so you'll want to keep note on that, and we'll update you on any updates on that water main break as well. But as for the closures here on Signal Mountain Road, we're told that they could last all the way through at least Wednesday. And this is a very heavily traveled area for residents that live on Signal Mountain or Mountain Creek Road area. So if you use this area, you'll want to be sure to give yourself some extra time before you head out the door. Reporting live in Chattanooga, Tim Pham, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, Tim, thank you very much for that live report.
Well, events are taking place across the United States today, honoring the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Well, a wreath-laying ceremony will be held at the memorial honoring the slain civil rights activist at the National Mall. Senator Cory Booker is among those attending the National Action Network's annual King Breakfast in Washington, D.C. The New Jersey Democrat made history last week, becoming the first senator to testify against a colleague's nomination and opposing Jeff Sessions for Attorney General. And President Obama, meanwhile, will participate in a service event in honor of Dr. King.
And there will be a number of events taking place right here in Chattanooga honoring Dr. King. The annual MLK Day of Service takes place at 9 a.m., just a couple of hours. A number of service projects will take place and end around noon. And the MLK Day Parade march and program begins at 4. Lineup for the march starts at 3:15 this afternoon at the Urban League parking lot on ML King Boulevard. The main program starts at 5, and that's at the Tivoli.
Well, people in Polk County continue to rebuild after November's deadly EF3 tornado.
The deadly twister demolished several homes, including the West Polk Fire and Rescue Station 2, one of the busiest stations in that county. And since then, firefighters have been serving the community out of their headquarters in Benton. Now, despite not having insurance, firefighters and community members have started designing a new and improved Station 2. Firefighters say it wouldn't have been possible without the community's support.
You know, we're a volunteer organization. We fought this long. You know, we'll come together and it'll happen.
Now, if you would like to help out firefighters in Polk County, you can head on over to our website, WRCBTV.com, for more information. In national news, after more than a century, the curtain is coming down on the greatest show on earth.
Yeah, the owner of Ringling Brothers and Barnum & Bailey Circus says the show will close forever in May after 146 years of performances. Company executives say the iconic American spectacle was impacted by a variety of factors. These include declining attendance, high operating costs, and public protests by animal rights groups. Some fans say it marks the end of an era.
I have great memories going with my family, and it's just another thing that they don't get to experience, that's something that from our childhood that we did.
The Ringling Brothers will perform 30 shows between now and the final show in Uniondale, New York on May the 21st. And now for the greatest spectacle in Tennessee Valley weather. I don't know. I tried, I committed, and then I derailed.
I can't even live up to what you just tried to say.
Dun, 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 dun.
Thank you.
Here's David Carnes with this forecast. And
outside we go. We'll do that. Yeah. Fog, warm weather. That's about all we got today. Just 50 degrees Chattanooga, 56 in Atlanta. 50 in Nashville. It is pretty mild all across the area. And there you go. Southerly winds bringing in some clouds and maybe a sprinkle or two, but they will be very few and very far between. Most of you won't see a drop today. What you will see is a lot of warmth. The record high in Chattanooga is 73. I'm forecasting 72 for the high. Upper 60s and low 70s all around the Tennessee Valley today. And it will recede the temperature a little bit, but we're talking about 72 down to 65 by Wednesday. In between, on Tuesday night, we'll probably get a few scattered showers. We'll have more detail on the potential for rain this week coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, David, thank you very much. Well, it's 5:08 coming up on Eyewitness News today. A new clinic has opened up in the memory of late basketball legend Coach Pat Summitt. We'll tell you how her legacy is helping others. That's coming up.
Plus, the Georgia Dome isn't in the past just yet. The Falcons will host the Green Bay Packers in the NFC Championship game next week. Jill Jelnick has all the highlights coming up in sports.
with coverage you can count on. This is Channel 3 Eyewitness News Today in HD.
Welcome back, 512. A person trying to cross Hickson Pike was hit by a car. Chattanooga police say it happened around 7 o'clock last night near Highway 153. Eyewitnesses say the victim is an employee of a nearby restaurant. It tells the car involved is a Kia and that the driver stayed on scene. Police say the person hit is expected to survive. It's unclear right now if the driver will face any charges.
Well, South Pittsburgh is looking for a new police chief. Our partners at the Chattanooga Times-Free Press report newly elected South Pittsburgh Mayor Virgil Holder fired Robert Simpson, but gave no reason why. Simpson was hired by the previous administration in February of 2015 and began to make changes to the department, bringing it up to code. The South Pittsburgh Police Department was decertified by the TBI between 2012 and 2014 when it was under the direction of former Chief Dale Winters. The TBI recertified the department last April. Lieutenant Ryan Meeks was voted in as the town's interim police chief while the search for a new one begins.
Yeah, got the full rundown on that now.
Well, the Pat Summitt Clinic at UT Medical Center is officially reopened with a ribbon cutting on Sunday.
Former players, friends, and family packed in to celebrate the milestone. Now, signs of the legend herself are everywhere. Her signature is the first thing you see before opening the doors. Tyler Summitt, Pat's son, says it's overwhelming, emotional, but exciting to know that this clinic will help thousands of families battling Alzheimer's.
One of her favorite quotes was, "You win in life with people," and so she was all about the people. It wasn't about the championships or the wins, it was about the people. And so I think this clinic will reflect that because of how much it's going to help the people.
Of course, that clinic can treat up to 3,000 patients. We have more information on our website, WRCBTV.com. Well, it's 5:13. Let's check sports headlines with Jill Jelnick.
The Falcons wanted one more game in the Georgia Dome, and that's exactly what they got. The NFC Championship game is now officially set, with the Falcons hosting the Green Bay Packers next Sunday night. And as I mentioned, it will be the last game the Falcons will ever play in the Georgia Dome before they move into their new facility next season. The two teams met earlier in the year, which came down to the final seconds of the game, of course, when Matt Ryan found Mohamed Sanu to give the Falcons the 1-point win. Again, NFC Championship set for a 3:05 kickoff next Sunday in Atlanta. Winner goes to the Super Bowl. Now, what happened to those Dallas Cowboys, you ask? Well, this happened. Green Bay jumped out to a shocking 28-13 lead in the third over the Cowboys in their own home, thanks to 2 touchdowns by Ty Montgomery and a score by Richard Rodgers. But just when Aaron Rodgers was hoping to extend the Green Bay lead, he throws his first interception in over 300 pass attempts. The Packers' turnover then leads to a crucial Cowboys score as Dak Prescott hits Jason Witten for the 6-yard touchdown. Dallas back in it, trailing 28-20. Then, fourth quarter, with about 4 minutes left, Prescott lobs a short pass to Dez Bryant for the 7-yard touchdown. The 2-point conversion is good, and the game's all tied up at 28-all. Green Bay and Dallas then trade field goals to make it 31-all. But with just 12 seconds left in the game, the Packers come up with this amazing play as Rodgers rolls out left, scrambles a little, somehow hits Jared Cook on the sideline for a 36-yard gain. Cook barely gets his toes in, which then sets up the game-winning try for the Pack. It all comes down to Mason Crosby. He sizes up a 51-yarder for the win, and this one is good. Packers win 34-31 in Dallas. Meanwhile, over in the AFC, Pittsburgh was able to edge Kansas City 18-16 thanks to 6 field goals by Chris Boswell, setting an NFL record. So now that means the Steelers will take on the Patriots next Sunday in the AFC Championship game, 6:40 kickoff. Well, just a week after Alabama was in the national championship game, multiple reports now confirm that the Crimson Tide's athletic director will step down, with another one ready to take his place. Alabama's current AD, Bill Battle, has been at the school for 4 years. He's expected to retire for health reasons, and Arizona athletic director Greg Byrne is said to be named Alabama's new AD. Byrne joined U of A in May 2010 after serving as AD for Mississippi State and associate athletic director at both Oregon State and Kentucky. The school is expected to announce that news as soon as today. All right, that's it for sports. I'm Jill Jellick. I hope you have a magical Monday.
Well, it's 5:17 coming up on Eyewitness News Today. David, we'll have a look at your forecast.
Plus, we're heading down to Dalton, Georgia to do a little moonshine sampling. It's a good day when you start it like this. Yeah. Well, I recorded it, and that's the reaction that you're going to get out of this stuff. That's coming up right after the break.
Welcome back, Channel 3 Eyewitness News Today. Well, here we go. That big ice storm now migrating northward just a little bit, but still fairly potent and causing problems today. You can see this warm air rising up into the Tennessee Valley and much of the southeast, so we're going to have near record warmth again today. Meanwhile, talking about that ice storm, about another ½ an inch to an inch of ice accumulation absolutely possible today. Places like Omaha could get hit pretty hard with up to an inch of ice accumulation. That would, of course, do a lot of damage. Murphy getting some dense fog this morning. Locally, a few patchy areas of fog in the valley. Not a huge deal, but you could absolutely run into a few spots. Just be aware of that. 50 currently in Chattanooga, Cleveland at 51. Nice and cool in Murphy. You're at 42 degrees this morning. Well, yesterday we had record-tying warmth, got up to 73 degrees. We're going to get up to 72 today. Once again, the record is 73, so we're going to flirt with the record once again. It's going to stay warm all week, but we will see temperatures receding into the 60s as we move throughout the week, and I think our rain chances are a little bit better than they have been as a front begins to move through. You can see not too much going on other than a lot lot of clouds over the Tennessee Valley. Rain off to the west. We're going to see that rain beginning to push in on Tuesday. It's going to be light, but yeah, you might see a 1/10 quarter of an inch of rain today. Moving into Wednesday, spotty shower or two Wednesday morning, and then it clears out Wednesday afternoon. And then we move into Thursday. And overnight Thursday into Friday morning, we're going to have more rain lifting up from the southwest into the Tennessee Valley, and it'll provide a rainy end to the week. But just talking about the rain on Tuesday evening into Tuesday night, about a 1/4 of an inch widespread, I think, is what we can expect with that. That would be a nice, good watering of the lawns. Today, just mostly cloudy for your Martin Luther King celebrations. We're looking at 72 degrees for the high. Again, the record high is 73. We could come close to, if not tying, or even slightly beating that record. Cloudy tonight, 55 for the overnight low. And your storm alert 7-day forecast, we see temperatures receding a bit, even getting down into the low 60s behind the front, and then more rain moving in overnight Thursday into Friday morning. By Friday afternoon into the weekend, we see it clearing out, drying out, but then again, another system moves in on Sunday with a high of 64 degrees. Once again, that was the Storm Alert 7-day forecast.
Thank you, David.
So there we go. Yeah.
All right. Well,
like
new
magic.
what?
It's like magic.
Yeah.
Bing bong boom.
New craft breweries are popping up across our area, but there's a long tradition of craft moonshine makers in the southern Appalachians.
Yes, in today's 3 in Your Town, we head to Whitfield County in search of the Butler family recipe. Welcome to Dalton, Georgia, where a new distillery is allowing folks to sip and sample some of North Georgia's finest shine. You can sample it, you just can't buy it. Well, sort of.
Georgia law doesn't allow us to sell a bottle, right. So there's a few legal loopholes that we can do. We can
I'm sorry. Legal loopholes. Okay, continue.
During Prohibition times, you can get a prescription of alcohol, and we have a true replica of that. We put in a few comical stuff to bring it up to date, and it's signed by my dad, issued by Raymond Butler, MD, Master Distiller. Not
nice.
And you pay for that bit of history, $25, and then the bottle is a gift.
We should introduce the OG MD, Raymond, who's been responsible for these spirits for decades. Where did you get your masters in moonshine making?
I got it from my granddad about 70 years ago.
In fact, the original distillery still lines the walls here, telling a rich history of moonshine in the mountains.
It's been cut down, and that's the term we use. The revenuers would bring axe, and chop it. You can see where it's been patched back. But I mean, I was put inside that thing when I was just a little bitty. My dad had put me in it to clean it. And when you come out, it's got to look like a new penny, he'd say.
The Butler recipe is one of a kind in America. According to the U.S. federal government, anyway. The secret, you ask? Sunflower seeds.
During the 40s and 50s, Dad said that the illegal whiskey market was overly saturated, and they had to separate themselves and be a little different.
Got it.
And they always raised sunflower seeds, and they'd always put a little bit of sunflower seeds in to be a distinctive taste and different. And that way it would stand out in the marketplace.
And of course, product sampling is part of the process here at the distillery. And as I found out, there's a specific process involved.
To me, I think it's best if you start out high and go low. This is our original.
Okay.
It's 111 proof. It's best served at room temperature, we think.
Okay.
It is warm because it's over 100 proof.
Oh, fire in the hole. This is the original cure-all for a lot of folks in this area. Actual medicine prescribed by doctors.
It just took care of whatever's wrong with you. But now, I mean, if there's nothing wrong with you, 3 good shots of this 111 proof, it will make you take something back, even if you hadn't stole it.
Yeah, man. That was a good day. And they're actually having a distiller's course this weekend where you can learn a bit of the process. So are you a moonshine fan? Are you a connoisseur of the spirits?
I wouldn't say connoisseur, but I mean, I've tasted it.
You've tasted it?
Yeah.
I bet you.
I do like learning about the process of whether it's wine or it's, beer or whiskey. I love learning about that process and then how people kind of change things and they make it theirs. I love that.
Well, I think we should do a follow-up. We should do an Uri tour. Like
what?
An Uri, like a distillery, a winery, and a brewery, and we should go explore that. That's just an idea. If you have a better one, you should email us or Facebook us, and we'll go do a 3 in your town and check it out. Yeah.
All right. Coming up on Channel 3 Eyewitness News today, we'll look at how many Americans will be celebrating the life of civil rights activist Martin Luther King Jr.
Plus, Channel 3's Tim Pham will have an update on how last week's Signal Mountain water main break will affect the roadway today. That's coming up after the break.